in the back of this home.
This was a pretty gruesome crime scene.
Jim Duckett was alone.
They didn't just go and tie him to a chair and slit his throat. They tortured him.
A veteran tied up and tortured.
And I remember screaming, they murdered him.
Jim Duckett was dead.
His mischievous smile.
Pictures of more peaceful times.
Loved horses. He had just purchased a second one.
Catherine Nichols tries to remember him like that.
I still try to figure out how I got here. How I'm sitting here in front of a camera 10 years later. How there's not an arrest 10 years later. Again, how did this become my life and how did my brother get murdered?
Still struggling to grasp reality. Struggling with what she saw.
But then you just realize you're in a crime scene. And that's your brother's.
Catherine was the first to find Jim.
And it's not like what you see in the movies. It's nothing like that.
When she hadn't heard from him, she went to his home.
From what I remember, his bathroom was all white. But it wasn't white, his bathroom was just, it was blood everywhere.
She called 911 and ran out of the house, but she couldn't leave the scene, waiting, watching, hoping police would pick up that perfect piece of evidence leading to the killer.
They always say there's 3 reasons for murder, and it's revenge, greed, or jealousy.
She had no idea then just how long that wait would be.
You wait 2.5 years for DNA to come back. The police told me maybe 4 months for an arrest, and I'm going on 10 years.
I'm Trooper Napier with the Kentucky State Police.
Detectives on the case call it complex.
These are the binders of the James Duckett murder case.
Documents describing in detail what they know about the crime.
So we don't think that this murder was random.
The documents also detail the killer.
The person or persons who murdered James Duckett, we think knew him and sought him out specifically.
Detectives keep certain clues they say could convict the criminal if ever charged.
So we have done an extensive investigation on this case.
The first clue, Duckett's truck, missing from his home when investigators arrived.
Later that day, just miles from his home, hidden behind some office buildings, we discovered his stolen truck.
By that time, the killer was gone, but detectives still found clues left behind. DNA collected from the seats and door handle, and the truck caught on camera with the killer inside.
I have a suspicion of who it was, but I couldn't swear on it.
Only minutes after stabbing Duckett to death, the killer took his ATM card to make a withdrawal.
His house is way out in the country, and instead of going to any ATM, they drove from his house all the way across town to his ATM.
That's where his face was captured, another clue. But detectives say that picture was unclear.
Several days prior to this event, that machine was maintenanced, and when it was put back together, the camera lens was put back on improperly, so the images from that video are very fuzzy and difficult to make out.
At first, there was hope. Catherine calling for tips days after it happened.
I am begging you that if you know anything, to please call the state police.
But police never got the tip to secure an arrest.
We have tried to follow up on several leads, interviewed dozens and dozens of people trying to get to the bottom of this case, and thus far, it hasn't really led us anywhere to a solvable point in this crime.
They have walked the streets for 10 years. They've gone on with their life. It's time for justice. Jim didn't deserve this. My family doesn't deserve this. My children didn't deserve this. And I sure didn't deserve this.
For now, she's left looking back on those better days.
He was a good uncle. He was a good brother.
Hoping her countdown for closure could be coming to an end.
Then you make it another year, and then you start over. And then you just pray for justice again.
We want to know your thoughts on this mystery and the others. Join the conversation right now on the Unsolved Insiders Facebook page.
And tomorrow night here on 11 at 11, the team is back with another mystery, an Amish home invasion that turned deadly.